Continue our team coverage tonight with those all over Central Illinois with their eyes glued to the screen. Tristan mentioned it. They're hoping the Illini can hold off the Hawkeyes in Houston. With that, we go to WCIA3's Tyler Hill live at Aspen Tap House in Champaign. Tyler, describe that atmosphere for me.
Man, Amanda, it has been great so far. It's a packed house. There have been a wait on tables ever since I got here a couple hours ago, and even those people are creeping in the aisles, blocking it for servers just to make sure they can get a glimpse of this game. But honestly, it reflected in a lot of ways, I think, this Illini team that we saw a little tense, a little nervous maybe starting out in this game, and now they've really come alive as the team has settled in. Very committed. I talked to a couple people at the bar who got here 3 hours in advance just to make sure that they would be here at their favorite spot to watch the game. There's already been a couple big crowd pops as well. I can remember the Big Z block, the Andre Stojakovic and one, the Keaton Wagler pull-up three. Here's another one right there. And all of these, they peaked out. I have a decibel meter on my phone that can read how loud it is. It peaked out around an industrial level lawnmower. So really loud in here, maybe not quite as loud as Houston, but they're confident this team can get it done, punch their ticket to Indy. I even heard some comparisons to the 04-05 team. That's pretty rarefied air. But like you said, we got a couple minutes left in halftime. At 10, we'll have a full wrap of the game, win or lose. An amazing job by our sports team. For now, reporting in Champaign, Tyler Hill, WCIA3, your local news leader.
All right, Tyler, thank you so much.
Absolutely. We got more team coverage for you, including at Aspen Tap House, where nearly 100 fans packed the building. That's where WCIA3's Tyler Hill was all game long. Tyler, lots of smiles?
Yes, for sure, Glenn. The word of the day and the word of March really is madness, and that is the perfect one to describe the atmosphere when the buzzer sounded here tonight. There was a full range of emotions throughout this 2.5-hour game, starting with nervousness. The Illini went down 12-2 early. You could hear a pin drop. Slowly but surely, though, the team came alive, and so did the fans, who never lost faith, hitting decibel levels nearly equal to a rock concert at times. Everything built towards the clock hitting zeros, and the crowd going crazy. Take a listen.
I feel amazing. I've waited my whole life for this. Watching the teams in 2017, 2016, growing up and us not being as good, and now I'm a senior in college, and we are the best we've ever been. Best team I've ever seen. Going to the Final Four, I've never been so happy. This is perfect.
This one ranks #1. Best game I've ever seen in my life. You never know what's going to happen in March. Here we are, baby. We're going to make it.
I'm feeling great. They're finally going good. They just won this. I love it. And this is my favorite team in basketball, so it's the best.
I'd say we're right up there with the 2005 team. I remember Darren and Dee and, watching us go to the Final Four and championship game. I mean, memories, and that's why we're out watching the game here tonight, because memories are made when you're around the crowd and it's just alive and vibrant and everybody's here having a good time.
That last quote coming from before the game, Malik is calling her shot, saying this team will finish off what the 04-05 team could not. It has been a crazy ride, and the Illini will have a chance to make that prediction a reality in Indianapolis. Reporting in Champaign, the home of the now Final Four bound Illinois Fighting Illini, Tyler Hill, WCIA3, your local news leader.
Tyler, I love it. Thank you so much, and I love that cute kid, Backy Ball.
Backs ball.
It's his favorite. There we go.
So roughly 300 miles back here in Urbana, I should say, Illini fans who didn't make the trip to Tennessee, they're huddling up to watch the game and cheer on their team. We continue our live team coverage and check in with WCIA3's Tyler Hill. I'm excited too, Tyler. You're with some very proud fans in Urbana. What's the energy like there?
Yeah, it is that nervous energy after a tough offensive and defensive start for the Illini, but now they're driving here in the red zone, and I'm here with one of the fans, Vashon. Vashon, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you doing?
Man, I am great. Been a good game so far. So how long have you been a fan of the Illini for, and what originally got you into it?
Oh, I would have to go back to about 1998 or something like that. That's about how long I've been a fan.
And we have had a very good year so far, right, for the Illini. They got a chance to win 9 games in back-to-back seasons for the first time in program history. As you look back, this is the last game. How do you evaluate, or what are you thinking about this season?
I just really think Coach B has brought a lot of energy and a lot of just different things to the program itself. As you can hear, I just feel like the program as a whole is just going in the right direction. Like you said, 9 wins in 3 years is very exciting.
Awesome. As I said, just got a touchdown here after the Illini make a drive. After the first drive goes 4 and out. Vashon, one last thing here real quick. Get a score prediction for this game.
I'm going to say right now it's, 7-7. I'll go 31-28 Illinois.
There we go. An Illini win, getting that 9th win of the year. Thank you so much. And thank you, Kelly, for sending us down here. We'll have more about this watch party and a full wrap-up of the bowl game at 10 p.m.
Tyler, perfect TV, a touchdown, a great fan, and a score prediction. Thank you, my friend.
Great timing. Great timing.
All righty, we'll see you next time. Let's get
He has been covering this story since it started yesterday. He's outside the water treatment plant. Tyler, we have to start with what's the status of Mattoon's water?
Yes, Jennifer, we're almost 24 hours until the massive shutdown of the drinkable water here in Mattoon. It's due to algae blooms on both Lake Paradise and Lake Mattoon. You can see that green substance on top of the water right now. I talked to both the Coles County Health Department and Mattoon's mayor. They gave me the general timelines and methods they use to get the word out. The health department says they got the alert from the city and started warning people on the radio. The department also called restaurants to let them know they needed to use water and ice from outside sources. They also sent people out to establishments that didn't have phones.
There's probably much more efficient ways. We have the means to email, but the problem is some of the businesses actually, their emails are blocked from outside of their corporation, so that doesn't work. Some of our emails go to, say, Tennessee instead of locally. We struggle with in the facilities letting us know who the current manager is. So you may have been the manager when the application was completed, but you could have left 3 months ago, so the manager still isn't notified. We also used to use Code Red, but so many of our facilities also have automated calling. Code Red can't get through that. So it's better than what we used to do, which was go door to door to the food service facilities.
Mayor Hall says they had a similar response. He says the city doesn't have one central alert system through voicemail or email. Hall says you can find the most up-to-date information on the city's website, and we have that latest information for you. They say that the Illinois EPA came and took water samples today. They should have those tests completed to see whether or not it's back to safe levels by 2 in the afternoon tomorrow. If it is, then we are all good to be able to use that water as normal. But until then, organizations around Mattoon are banding together to help get water to those who need it. Coming up at 6, you'll hear from one woman who wasn't able to get that water for herself until some Good Samaritans showed up and helped her out. Jennifer?
All right, Tyler, we know you can't drink it, but what about showering and bathing?
Well, it's not a flat yes or no. So if you are a healthy adult with no cuts or abrasions, they say that you can use the water to bathe, do laundry and things like that, as long as you don't get it in your mouth or ingest it in any way still. But if you do have those cuts or abrasions, or you're immunocompromised, or children, they do warn that those levels would be unsafe for you. So you have to be able to be on top of your health and see your situation and apply it to whether or not you can use it.
All right, Tyler, we'll see you again at 6. Thank you so much. Now,
A Macon County village is issuing a potentially deadly drinking water alert after they say they found dangerous levels of a chemical compound. Good evening, I'm Brandon Morano.
And I'm Kelly Finley. Blue Mound says the levels of nitrate in their water exceed safe standards and are warning people of its effects. WCIA 3's Tyler Hill is live in Blue Mound this evening. Tyler, what have you heard?
Well, Kelly, I'm here by the water facility, and look at this behind me. The fire hydrant outside of the building has been spraying water like this for the last 45 minutes. Now, the Blue Mound Water Department does say the biggest danger is for infants under 6 months old. The village says not to give the water to anyone in that range. They say if babies under 6 months do drink the water, they can become seriously ill or die. They got an alert about this issue earlier today and have been treating it since then. They say not to boil the water either, but adults and people older than 6 months should be fine to drink. But if you're pregnant or have health concerns, consult your doctor. I talked to one person who lives in town who says they're frustrated with this happening again. In April of last year, the village issued a similar, really the same exact order for nitrate in the water. Now, Blue Mound says that they are treating this water and that it should be back to normal by next Friday. I reached out to the water department for some more details, but they said currently they're all hands on deck and don't have anybody available for interview. Reporting live in Blue Mound, Tyler Hill, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Davis family. That's where we find WCIA 3's Tyler Hill. So Tyler, what's planned for tonight?
Jennifer, the St. James United Methodist Church here in Danville has a time of prayer planned for the Davis family. It's going on in that sanctuary right behind me. They say they want to wrap up that family in as much love as possible and also fight against gun violence in their community as a whole. Family says Davis was at a gathering in the park with around 300 people. Police say shots rang out around 10 at night, hitting and killing the 18-year-old. I talked with Danville Police Chief Chris Yates this afternoon. He told me some of his officers knew Davis and say she was an exceptional young woman.
She was a very bright and had a lot of potential. It hits extremely hard because whenever you have an innocent bystander that is victimized by a cowardly deed and violent deed such as that, it does hit home a little bit harder.
The police say they found evidence of several shots being fired from at least 2 different locations, but at this point, they haven't identified any suspects. Yates says that's why it's important for anyone who saw what happened that night to come forward. He says tonight's vigil will show how many people in the city want to stop violent crimes like the one that took Davis's life. He hopes this showing will not only bring comfort to the family, but also cause someone to step forward with vital information leading to the justice that they deserve. Reporting live in Danville, Tyler Hill, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Like I say, we're in here for the long haul.
You are looking at an Iroquois County grain bin come crashing down this afternoon, leaving a small town in limbo. Good evening, I'm Brendan Morano. Kelly's off tonight. First responders say it happened around 1 p.m. at a Donovan Farmers Cooperative facility in the small village of Martinton. WCIA 3's Tyler Hill was there today. Tyler, what else did you find out?
First responders say no one was hurt, but the village is without power. Ameren's outage map says it's over 170 people, one of the many things needing to be fixed in the next several days.
It's just going to be a long night.
One that started for first responders Wednesday morning. Bruce Lane, EMS coordinator with the Papanoff Fire Protection District, says they were on a separate medical call around 10:30.
While we were on that run, we were advised that there was a potential for implosion of a grain bin here in town.
They immediately got to work setting up a safety area, notifying utility companies, and gathering other departments for help.
The original plan was to unload the bin behind the collapsed bin so that the elevator could transfer the grain into there.
But around 1, it all came crashing down. The nearly 90-foot grain bin collapsed, sending nearly 30,000 bushels of soybeans spilling out.
First thing that runs through your head is your own personal safety, right? Secondary was everyone else's safety, so we immediately established accountability.
Thankfully, he says no one was hurt. Now Lane and his team are making sure this doesn't lead to something greater.
Right now we're mitigating the next hazard, which is the grain leg that's a little bent. That's why we've got a crane in place. We've had the grain elevator contacted some structural engineers, so they're supposed to be following through with that, make sure there's no additional hazard.
Almost 170 people in the village are making do without power, like Tim Wilhelmy, owner of the Barnyard Tap.
Well, I got oil lamps on the bar. We're kind of prepared for this. We have power outages here and there.
And while Ameren works to restore power, they'll continue to make do.
I'm going to be here all night. I got a generator running out back. I'm bouncing my power cord between refrigerators and keeping everything cold and safe.
Ameren's outage map estimates they'll have power back on around 3 tomorrow morning. Donovan Farmers Cooperative says they have crews starting tonight on cleanup and hope to be partially up and running 4 days from now. Brandon?
It's terrible. It sets you back, like, big time.
An Urbana sandwich shop says they are struggling after a break-in leads to thousands in damages and stolen cash. Good evening. I'm Kelly Finley. Brandon is off tonight. Balderota's porchetta and Sicilian sausage says someone didn't just steal cash, but they also took items they need to operate their business and more last night. Now they're doing their best to do what they can to get their business up and running once again. WCIA 3's Tyler Hill. You were there today, Tyler. What do we know so far?
Well, Kelly, Urbana police says there is an active investigation into what happened. Owner Jordan Balderota says there were no signs of a break into the restaurant from the outside, but he says what was taken will set back the shop in a big way.
Very angry, and then very violated.
Jordan Balderota says since they opened in 2017, he's never seen anything like what happened Saturday night. He says someone took $1,500 cash and their point of sale system. He says he got in and found other items missing as well, like the knobs on this flat top grill. But that wasn't all. He also says batteries were taken from this receipt printer, but even that's not all.
These are all cut right here. And the same thing in our back kitchen. And there's a rod that goes in here that holds your plate, your guard plate. This won't even turn on without that.
All this forced them to close on Sunday, causing missed sales. He hasn't gotten the final numbers from insurance, but estimates the cost at around $6,000.
It's bad enough if you have a slow day in sales, but then to walk in and you're missing close to $2,000 in money, your POS system that you got to pay to replace, and then the sales of that day. I mean, it's just it's a double whammy.
Even so, he says it won't stop them from doing what they can to get back to business as usual.
We're going to keep our chin up and keep serving the community. The community loves us. We love this community as well. So we're just going to get back to it, and just keep moving forward.
They will be open for business tomorrow. Balderota says they have been in contact with their insurance company and are waiting to hear back from them. The Urbana Police Department says the investigation is still ongoing. Kelly?
Alrighty, Tyler, thank you.
Well, I think it's wonderful.
A new ruling coming from Rhode Island may be giving new life to a federal program providing food to millions of people. A U.S. district judge ordered the Trump administration to provide full federal SNAP benefits to states by Friday. Good evening. I'm Brandon Morano.
And I'm Kelly Finley. Now the question is, when will that money be released and who will receive these benefits across the country and here in Illinois? For these answers, we turn to WCIA 3's Tyler Hill, who has been digging into these details all day. Tyler, what do we know about these numbers?
Well, Kelly, I'll start with the income level. The USDA says 75% of people on SNAP are at or below the poverty line in the state. An average person gets around $190 a month, and the average household gets $356. Today, I talked to someone who runs a food pantry in Urbana to get more of an idea on what we're seeing in Illinois.
I'm so glad that at least some judges are coming to grips with what is going on and trying to make a difference.
On Thursday, U.S. District Judge John J. McConnell Jr. gave President Donald Trump's administration until Friday to make full payments through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. He says they, quote, failed to consider the practical consequences associated with this decision to only partially fund SNAP.
So I'm glad that the judges are making that happen.
If these benefits do get fully funded, they'll be going out to a diverse group of people across the U.S. A 2019 breakdown of USDA numbers shows 37% of people getting SNAP assistance are white, 26% African American, 16% Hispanic, 3% Asian, 2% Native American, and 16% unknown.
We all need help from time to time. If you've lived very long at all, you have probably gone through times that you're living paycheck to paycheck, or you're really relying on someone else to help you.
They also tracked users in a different way. In 2023, the USDA broke down SNAP users by how they get their income. 33% get it through Social Security, 28% from working a job, 23% from supplemental security income, which typically goes to families or individuals with disabilities, and 7% by other means. The USDA says as of last year, more than 1.9 million people, or 1 in every 7, get these benefits in Illinois, compared to the national average of 1 in 8. Hope Center Food Pantry Director Marty Pearson says that's okay and has a message for people who may be embarrassed to ask for help.
You're not alone. You're not the only person that that's ever happened to. There are many more people like myself who have maybe had to rely on someone else's help from time to time in my life.
The Justice Department has already appealed the judge's order, and the Trump administration says they are already complying with an earlier order to use the contingency fund to provide partial SNAP benefits for November. But we're still waiting to find out when those payments will come. Kelly?
Tyler, thank you for helping us to understand the breakdown of those numbers. Very interesting. Thank you very much.
After 50 years of matching adult role models to kids, a Coles County organization says they're being forced to close their doors for good.
Mid-Illinois Big Brothers Big Sisters say they've been the catalyst for students receiving valuable mentorship in and around Charleston. That is until yesterday's announcement saying they're winding down their operations. WCIA 3's Tyler Hill is in our newsroom right now. Tyler, what reason did they give for the move?
Well, Kelly, in a letter to the area they serve, the board of directors say it's because they didn't think the organization would be sustainable long term. They made it clear it was not because their mission wasn't important, something a volunteer I talked to agrees with.
I worry for the kids in the program.
Kaylee Banyan says she started volunteering with Big Brother Big Sisters 2 years ago and was paired with Braylyn.
I've gotten really close with her and her family, and we've done a lot of fun things together. We even started a scrunchie making business over the summer.
They also had powerful moments together after Braylyn lost a family member.
I took her to a grief camp because she recently lost her aunt, and that seemed to really help.
She says a big can be a great mentor for a teen, someone who can sit down and pour time and effort into their lives. And on the other side, the little gets the help, love, and care they need to grow. But now, at least officially, that's gone from the Charleston area. Banyan found out from a social media post.
I was very shocked. I had just spoken to a coordinator, maybe a week prior, so I was very surprised to hear about that.
Surprised, but also worried for kids in her area.
There's a massive wait list of kids that are hopeful to make a match, and they're not going to get that anymore. I also worry about the kids in the program, as a lot of the time we're the only thing that's consistent in their life.
The organization says they'll be shutting down officially on March 1st. Banyan says she does plan to continue meeting with Braylyn throughout high school, but says some matches won't be as lucky. She added she doesn't know if other organizations like the Kiwanis Club will be able to help fill the gaps or not. Reporting live in the newsroom, Tyler Hill, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Tyler, thank you.
It's just really not recommended to travel. If you have somewhere to be, you might want to rethink your plans just with everything that we're going to see. And we're going to dive a little bit more into those impacts that we are expecting coming up later on in the show, including some snowfall totals. But for now, Tyler, we'll send it back over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Seth. We have updates for you about 2 crashes happening in the past 2 days. First in Morgan County. Yesterday we told you one person died in a crash at the intersection of Mount Zion Road and Gravel Springs Road. The coroner has now identified the victim as 15-year-old Adelisa Addie Rose Johnson. Now in Vermilion County, state police say a semi rolled over on I-74 near Fithian around 6 this morning. They say all lanes of traffic are now open. Officials say a man is dead after a shooting in Minneapolis on Saturday involving federal immigration agents from Customs and Border Protection. Family members have identified him as Alex Jeffrey Pretty, an intensive care nurse at the Veterans Administration. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara says that he was an American citizen who lived in the city. Other Minneapolis leaders say they're asking for help.
The city of Minneapolis is filing a declaration after today's shooting to encourage the judge to rule on a temporary restraining order on Monday that would grant us immediate relief and would help stop this operation that has been so harmful to the city of Minneapolis. The state of Minnesota has resulted in multiple shootings and tragic deaths.
This comes more than 2 weeks after 37-year-old Renee Good was also fatally shot in a South Minneapolis residential neighborhood by a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer while in her vehicle. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says Pretty approached officers and reacted violently, and fearing for his life and the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said in a statement that a federal investigation is ongoing. Back in Central Illinois, the Centennial Archery Team continued a tradition they've been hosting for half a decade. Their charity tournament raises money for the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, a tradition coaches say has grown every year and one that holds a deeper meaning. WCIA 3's Katie Moore has the story.
This will be our 5th year running the archery tournament in support of St. Jude Children's Hospital.
The Centennial High School archery team hosted their annual charity tournament on Saturday. Coach Heather Miller says more than 2 million students compete in archery across all grade levels nationally. And their team hits the bullseye in fundraising efforts.
We're #1 in the country every year.
She says over the last 4 years, the team has raised more than $19,000 for St. Jude. While she's grateful, she's not surprised.
It does hit near and dear to her heart because we have a St. Jude survivor on our team.
They diagnosed me with acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
Miguel Martinez was diagnosed when he was 2 years old with a type of cancer in the bone marrow.
So I've had to stay at St. Jude for about 2 years, I think 2 or 3 years. And then after those were done, I came back every other week.
And he says they did that for more than 5 years until he was in remission. Now he's a senior at Centennial and goes to St. Jude once a year. He says the charity tournament is bigger than just the sport or the money they raise.
It's not just the donations, but it's also the information that's getting spread around so more people can know about St. Jude and what they do.
Ian Martinez had a quick explanation of St. Jude Children's impact on him.
Do you believe St. Jude saved your life?
Yes.
Reporting in Champaign, I'm Katie Moore, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
As of 2 p.m. today, Miller says they have already raised more than $7,000, and they'll be accepting donations until March 1st. To find out how you can support the cause, go to our website, WCIA.com. The Fighting Illini men's basketball team picked up a huge win at #4 Purdue today, 88-82 the final. WCIA 3 Sports Director Glenn Kinley takes us inside Mackey Arena, where one Illinois player took the college basketball world by storm.
Tyler, I'm not sure I have enough adjectives. I'm not sure the dictionary has enough adjectives to describe what we saw from Keaton Wagler today. The Illini freshman shatters the Illinois freshman scoring record with 46 points. It was sensational. It was unbelievable. It was unreal. It was, in a way, inexplicable. Wagler goes 9 for 11 from three-point land. 9 makes for 11 tries from 3 is impressive if you were standing in a gym by yourself, let alone when there are 5 players on a top 5 team whose main objective is to not let you put the ball in the basket. Underwood and some of Keaton's teammates talked to us post-game about the performance we saw today that will be remembered for a long time among Illini Nation.
He just plays, he just hoops. There's nothing phases him, he just wants to make the right basketball play. It's just his personality. He's so stoic. He's very non-emotional. He's excited. His teammates were thrilled, but that's the beauty of Keaton, and he takes the emotion out of it. In a venue with 15,000 people all against him, and he just plays. He just took what the game gave him.
I've been around some guys who can score the ball and put up big nights, but for someone to come into Mackey and put up 46 that's one of the biggest nights I've seen, and to be a part of that and on the team, same team as that guy, it was awesome.
It's crazy. I don't even have words to describe that. Like, best performers for sure I ever seen with me on court, so incredible, just incredible.
You want to talk about a guy whose opinion holds some weight? How about reigning Big Ten Player of the Year and All-American Braden Smith, who said after this game, Keaton Wagler looks like an NBA lottery pick. Now, Wagler was able to put the team on his back, but it wasn't just a one-man effort. Tristan's got the highlights, and Courtney's got more on what went into this Illini victory coming up later in sports. For your Illini Nation at Mackey Arena, Glenn Kinley, WCIA 3 Sports.
Thanks, Glenn. We're talking a lot about how we can stay warm when the temperature is this low, but one expert says an animal you see all the time in pastures is uniquely equipped. One beef cattle specialist says cows have a dense hair coat and a thick layer of fat insulating them. When the temperature gets below 19 degrees, he says caretakers should have a heightened sense of awareness of their cattle's needs, like having an adequate, high-quality feed supply and making sure cattle have a place to get out of the wind and enough bedding to lay on. This cold spell is reminding him of one of the most unique parts about beef cattle. They're ruminant animals.
So one chamber of their 4-chambered stomach is the rumen, and actually that's where they ferment feed. So that feed fermentation process actually generates heat. So I guess you could say cattle have a built-in heater, which is kind of neat.
He says if you see cows covered in snow, you don't have to worry. It's actually a sign the heat they're generating is staying inside their body. Seth, they look like they were handling it a lot better than I was.
That would be nice to have your own built-in internal heating system.
Definitely don't have one of those.
No, we do not. And that's why we stay inside where the heating systems kind of do it for us here. Snow has fallen across the area, maybe letting up just a little bit, but don't let your guard down. Plenty more is on the way.